Aston Martin's luxury factory, inside British car manufacturing in a world racing towards speed and tech. In a time when factories are ruled by silent robots, there's one place where cars aren't just built, they're crafted like pieces of art. A place cameras barely touched, and few have ever seen from the inside. The Aston Martin factory, where legends aren't manufactured, they're born. You probably think luxury cars are made on cold, automated assembly lines, right? You might believe that hand-built is just some clever marketing slogan, or that these cars roll out like any other car off the production line. But here's the truth. Every Aston Martin carries the signature of a real human, a person who poured heart, skill, and pride into every inch of that machine, long before you ever laid eyes on it. Here, raw materials don't enter a factory. They enter a story. And no Aston Martin leaves until it tells a story of its own, a story meant for the elite. So today, we're not just taking a factory tour, we're stepping inside one of Britain's most secretive automotive worlds. And before we dive in, let me ask you this. Do you think luxury is just something you buy, or is it something crafted by hand and heart together? Let's find out. Right in the heart of the English countryside, just a stone's throw away from roads that once echoed with the sounds of old-school racing legends, there stands a factory that's unlike any factory you've ever seen. Here, machines don't scream, assembly lines don't race, and parts don't fly down belts at breakneck speed. Everything moves like a perfectly tuned symphony. And the people working inside? They're not called workers. They're known as craftsmen. From the very moment raw aluminum sheets and fine leather enter the building, the process kicks off more like a luxury jewelry workshop than a car factory. Every single part handcrafted and carefully fitted by human hands. The sleek aluminum body panels, hand-shaped, polished, checked, by eyes trained to catch what machines can't. The dashboard, wrapped in real leather, stitched by hand, where every thread tells its own story. And the iconic Aston Martin wings? Forget mass production. These badges are carefully engraved by actual hands. Every tiny detail sculpted with care. Sometimes it takes hours, just for the badge alone. Ever heard this one? Every Aston Martin engine is built by one person, one engineer, one signature, one reputation on the line. They don't walk away from that engine until it's flawless. And yeah, their name? It's etched on a tiny metal plaque, right there on the engine block. Not stamped, not printed, signed. And when it comes to assembling the body, forget the massive robotic arms you see in other factories. Here, human hands align, adjust, and fit every curve and angle, with precision down to the millimeter. Because Aston Martin customers, they notice things no quality control camera ever will. Now, about the paintwork. Most car factories, they spray a car and move on in a matter of minutes. But an Aston Martin, it can stay with the paint team for days. Layer after layer, each checked, each refined, until it reflects like a piece of fine art dot. And get this, a single color, it might get buffed and polished 10 times or more before it's good enough to leave the shop. And the interior? That's a whole other world. Only the finest British and Italian leathers make the cut. Each piece hand-picked for quality. And before a single stitch happens, every inch of leather is inspected by human eyes to make sure it's flawless. Then, the craftsmen begin the hand stitching, using threads designed to last a lifetime. Every single stitch? A personal touch from a real person, not a machine. And that's why people ask, are you really paying for a car? Or are you paying for the story? That comes with it. But let me take you deeper, because this isn't just about craftsmanship. It's about heritage. Aston Martin isn't some random luxury brand chasing the spotlight. It's a name that's been woven into the fabric of British automotive history for over 100 years. And in this factory, every single car carries that legacy forward. The moment you step inside, you realize this isn't a place focused on pumping out thousands of cars a day. No mass production, no rushing. Here, it's all about making one perfect car at a time. Let's talk about assembly. Each car begins as a naked frame, an aluminum skeleton that looks more like an art piece than a chassis. And instead of bolts fired in by robotic arms, here skilled hands fasten and adjust every part, with tools calibrated by human experience, not just machines. They check, double check, and check again. Because in this factory, good enough simply isn't good enough. Now, the customization? It's insane. Customers don't just choose colors off a chart. They sit with design consultants, pick materials, leather textures, even the stitching style. You want a one-of-a-kind shade of paint? They'll mix it for you. Want your initials subtly embroidered inside the headrest? Done. This isn't just luxury, it's personal craftsmanship at its finest. And the sound system? Not some off-the-shelf speaker kit. Aston Martin works with world-class audio engineers to create a sound experience that feels like sitting in a live concert hall. Every speaker, every wire, positioned with surgical precision inside the car's structure. It's not about loud, it's about perfect. And when the car's finally ready, oh, they don't just fire it up and drive it out the door. Each Aston Martin goes through a rigorous testing process. On the road, on specialized tracks, under all kinds of conditions. And not by random test drivers, by factory specialists trained to listen, feel, and detect issues even machines can't pick up. Think about this. You're not buying horsepower. You're not buying leather and metal. You're buying hundreds of hours of human skill, pride, and a story that starts long before you ever turn the key. But here's the part most people never see. What happens before the car even reaches the customer? You see, after assembly, after painting, after every stitch is in place, each Aston Martin goes through something they call the final inspection zone. Sounds official, right? But in reality, this is the sacred ground of perfection. A team of master inspectors, people with decades of experience, go over every single inch of the car. Not once, not twice, but over 60 different checks. They examine the paint under special lights. They listen to the engine in a soundproof chamber. They check the feel of every button, and even the scent of the leather. Yeah, you heard that right. They have inspectors trained to smell the leather, to make sure it meets the Aston Martin standard. Because in this world, every sense matters. And when they take it out for a test drive, it's not a joyride. It's a ritual. Every rattle, every vibration, every shift in gear, they listen for the heartbeat of the car, and if it's not perfect, back to the line it goes. And here's the kicker. Unlike most car factories where the goal is maximum output, Aston Martin's philosophy is simple. We don't build fast, we build right. Because when you build something with your hands, when your name is stamped on that engine, and your signature rides with that car forever, you don't rush it. Some cars take weeks to finish, some months. Why? Because perfection doesn't work on a clock, and that's the magic no machine will ever replace. So next time you see an Aston Martin glide by on the street, remember, you're not just looking at a car. You're looking at the result of human hands, passion, and legacy, all fused into one machine. But let's get real for a second. Why does any of this even matter? Why should anyone care how a car is built, when most people just want horsepower, flashy looks, and maybe a cool badge on the hood? Because here's the truth. In a world drowning in mass production, where almost everything we buy is pumped out by faceless machines, handcrafted perfection means something. It means that somewhere out there, a group of people still believe in taking their time, in pouring real heart and soul into what they create. And it means that when you sit inside an Aston Martin, you're not just in a car. You're in a masterpiece. Think about it. Every stitch, every polished panel, every perfectly tuned engine note, it's the result of countless hours of human craftsmanship. Not robots, not algorithms, humans. People who wake up every day, walk into that factory, and treat every car they build like it's the most important one they'll ever make. And that's why Aston Martin isn't just a brand, it's a statement. A reminder that craftsmanship, pride, and passion still have a place in our world. So the next time you hear an Aston Martin roar to life, or you catch a glimpse of one gliding past you on the road, remember, you're not just looking at a car, you're looking at a story, a legacy, and a living proof that even in a world obsessed with speed, some things are still worth taking the time to do right. And now I'll leave you with this. When was the last time you bought something that wasn't just made for you, but crafted for you?
Aston Martin. It's not just a car, it's an experience. From the moment you see its design, hear that growling engine, and feel the leather wrap around your hands, you instantly know you're not just sitting in a car, you're stepping into another world. Every single detail is intentional. The sound, the speed, the presence. It's got that rare mix of British elegance and raw power. This car doesn't just race on roads, it races through you. It leaves a mark. It leaves a memory. People who choose an Aston Martin, they're not just chasing speed, they're chasing identity, character, soul. And while most modern cars have started to feel the same, Aston Martin still holds on to its magic. That's why, to me, it's one of the greatest cars ever built. I'm Ahmed Khalid, and this was my personal take from the exposed world.